Okay, we're gonna continue. So now the map zooms in close to the selected feature and centers it in the view. The city's odd-shaped attribute to years of piecemeal expansion and incorporation. So the city has internal halls where it surrounds other cities, such as Beverly Hills or unincorporated areas. So it also has a long, narrow southern corridor that connects it to its harbor at the Port of Los Angeles. So now on the map, we're gonna selection group, we will clear the selection, which is this button. Clear selection. So we will filter the display of city using definition query. So one of the project requirements is that the new park be inside the Los Angeles city limits. So therefore, we are more interested in Los Angeles than in other cities. So a layer property called a definition query allows you to show only those features in a layer that interest you. So in the contents pane, that we're going to right click on city and go back to property again. In the layer property dialog box, we're going to say definition query. So SQL, we're gonna add a query. So build a query on that attribute table by specifying a field and setting a logic or arithmetic condition that values in that field must satisfy. So in this case, we want to find records with the value of Los Angeles in the name field. So in the list of field name, we will use the drop down arrow to click name. So drop down, we will say name and is equal to Los Angeles. All right, with the L. Los Angeles. All right. So I type in Los Angeles and then click add because it's just so hard to scroll down all the way down. Then we can click add and click OK. So now our let's just zoom to layer. Zoom to layer. Go to attribute table. 0 selected. I think something wrong is here. So let's go back to query. Los Angeles. Name is equal to Los Angeles. Los Angeles. All right. There. So I didn't type it correctly. All right. So then I will go back to right click on it and property, go back to general. So we will change the cities back to Los Angeles. And we're gonna click OK. So on the map, only the city of Los Angeles is shown, then the other city is hidden by the definition query. So in the contents pane, we will right click the Los Angeles layer and click open attribute table, which I already have it here. So the only shows the Los Angeles records, so we can see one. And we will close the attribute table. So the other city feature haven't been deleted. Clearing the definition query will display them again. So layers property affect the display of data in a map, not the essential properties of the data itself. So the number of features, their shapes, locations, and attributes. So the layers and data sets. A layer points or refers to a data set stored somewhere on disk as specified on the source tab of the layer property dialog box. So a layer is not a physical copy of the data. So a layer is a representation or rendering of the data. So the data set stores the shapes, locations, and attributes of features. The layer stores display properties, including what the layer is named, which of its features are shown or selected, how those features are symbolized, and whether they are labeled. Changes to layer properties do not affect the dataset that the layer refers to. We can make as many layers as we want from the same dataset and give them different properties. These layers can coexist in the same map document or in many different map documents. So now we will add a layer of rivers. So now we add a layer of local rivers to the map and see where the Los Angeles River fits into the picture. So now from this project pane, we will browse to the hydro group in the hydro group, which is right here. We have a rivers and we have water pine, so I'm gonna add rivers. So now rivers is added. So I'm gonna drag it here, move it to the middle. Now I right click on the river and we say add to current map. So we can say add to current map, or I just drag it here. So layers and dataset. A layer point or refers to a dataset stored somewhere on disk as specified on the source tab of the layer property dialog box. So a layer is not a physical copy of the data. A layer is a representation or rendering of the data. So the dataset stores the shapes, locations, and attributes of features. The layer stores display properties, including what the layer is named, which of its features are shown or selected, how those features are symbolized, and whether they are labeled. Changes to layer properties do not affect the data that the layer refers to. We can make as many layers as we want from the same dataset and give them different properties. These layers can coexist in the same map document or in many different map documents. Alright, so a layer of rivers is added to the map and placed at the top of the contents pane. So the layer is symbolized with a random color. So if the color is difficult to identify, it may be beneficial to change its color using the color palette. If we are having trouble, we will refer to the task set property. Then here we will river, so yep. I'm gonna change it into blue, or I double click on it so it will have waterline. So it's waterline, so I'm just changing to waterline. And we will click any river to identify it. So if we see the name of the river, many don't have a names and its attributes. So stream, it doesn't have a name. This has a name. It gives a lot of information. So by default, the Explorer 2 identifies features from the topmost layer in the contents pane. If we miss a river, we will identify either the city of Los Angeles or nothing. That's fine. We will leave the Explorer window open and click again on a river. So we will click on a few more rivers to identify them. So let me, oh no, that's, alright, stream. It has a pipeline thing. Pipeline adequate or something. Oh. So I'm gonna select. I'm gonna turn off the other layers so I don't accidentally, collect other layer for it. Alright. It's California again. Let me collect by select tool. There. So if I draw a rectangle, it will be a lot easier by select. So now we try to identify segments of the Los Angeles River, and the river turns west to east across the city, turns south near the city's eastern edge, and follows a freeway to San Pedro's Bay. Now we're going to close the pop-up window. We're going to make a definition query on the Los Angeles River. So now we are mainly interested in one city. We are also mainly interested in just one river. We make another definition query to show just the Los Angeles River. So now we're going back to list by drawing order. In the contents pane, we're going to right click the river layer and click properties. So right click on here and go to properties there. And we're going to right click the river layer and click property, and shortcut to double click the layer named the contents pane. So in the layer property river dialog box, we're going to do definition query again. So now this time we will add a clause. So we would say name is equal to Los Angeles. So this one has a lot less Los Angeles River. Click OK. Oh, I didn't click add. So gonna go to attribute table. So now do I just have Los Angeles River? Yeah, it's all Los Angeles rivers. All right. I think let me double check. Go back to here. Yeah, it's already added. I forgot to click add. So now the contents pane reflects the new layer name. So now I'm gonna zoom out and I select this part. It's just one part of it. And I'm gonna deselect it. Clear. All right. Perfect. So now we can also rename the layer in the contents pane by clicking the name once to highlight it and then click it again to rename it. So be careful that we will open the layers property if I do not careful. Alright, so I'm gonna say Los Angeles River. Okay, now we will change the symbology. We will change the color below Los Angeles River name to modify the symbology. We will click the symbology, opens the symbology pane on the right hand side of the map. So we could do many ways. We can just go symbology here and double click this line. That I could do go to properties. So now here property tab under appearance, we can change the color width and the symbol. We will change the color into blue. So blue, and then the width it will be 3, 1, 2, 3, and click apply. So click apply to close the symbology pane on the map. The river display with its new symbology. That's how we change the symbology and move it to the left a little bit. Alright, we will select Los Angeles River feature using a query. So on the map, the river looks like a single feature just like the city, but it is not. In the contents pane, we will right click on the Los Angeles River and I already have it here, attribute table. So at the top of the table, we see that from 0 to 17, 0 to 17, records are selected. That means that in this particular layer, the Los Angeles River is composed of 17 features. So why is that? Because that's composed of everything here with the segments. And all the records have the same name value. Most have the same type, but one is an artificial path. There are a few description values. There is no need to maintain different attribute values for different parts of a geographic object, in a common reason that data, especially data representing linear features such as streets and rivers, is structured this way, consisting of multiple features. We will come back to this point later. So in the ribbon of the map tab in the selection group, we will click select by attribute. So select by attribute, which is right here. And having noticed that the perennial year-round water flow and intermittent, not year-round water flow values in the description field, we might want to know which parts of the river are which. We can find out using an attribute query. An attribute query is like a definition query in that both types of query single out feature in a layer on the basis of attribute value. So the difference is that an attribute query highlights features that satisfy the expression rather than hiding features that don't. Alright, so now in the name of table or view table, we will confirm that Los Angeles River is selected. Alright, so this is selected. And we will make sure the selection type drop down menu, it's right here. Selection is set to new selection. Perfect. And we will have to add